little bit more.
Bass.
All right, let's get a sound check from Evil Trent.
I hate it when you do that.
Can you please just, throughout these 2 episodes, just tell me everything you hate about what I do?
I can do that.
Because that would be amazing. Like, I live like 3 blocks away from there now, and I'm worried that my Subaru will not be there. Instructions unclear, get cut, ceiling fan. Just ceiling fan. That's all the note you need.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the CAMcast.
Hey!
And I'm at the helm today, the one and only Heat Car.
Not only are you at the helm, we are without our leader.
I know! He is out of the studio today.
He's doing big boy things.
Yes, so, I mean, I understand.
We miss you, Mike. Sorry about the toilet.
That is for you to be discovered later.
And
he will have discovered it by the time he hears this.
And the random smoke coming from a corner. Just some random corner.
That's what's left of this ship smoldering in the corner.
We did not mean to spill the Coke on the mixer.
Goddamn. So, yeah, and I am joined, as always, by Trent. Hi, Trent.
Hi.
But
you paused.
I did pause, but that's because we have more than one Trent with us.
It's
this
true.
Week.
We're all going to get a little confused.
We're joined by an evil Trent.
Howdy.
Trent Nathan Tanner.
He's one of our CAMcast superfans.
Indeed.
Long-time listener, first-time sitter.
You've never sat before? Wow.
That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, good to see you in the flesh. And yeah, that other voice you heard was Daddy Rads.
The other voice you hate to hear, you love to hate.
We love your voice.
Isn't that right, Trent?
Only when you do certain
I love
things.
you on this podcast most of the time.
I'm just waiting patiently for you to tell me, like, you should stop doing that. I hate it when you do that.
He is also our Uncle Radical as well as our daddy.
Yeah, Daddy Rads.
Daddy Rads.
Daddy Rads. Dave Riley.
Daddy Rads in the house.
That's right. I'm your your ghetto crusader, as it were.
Cool. And we now have pizza. That's awesome.
There we go. You muted the wrong one.
Goddamn.
That was
See,
weird.
I'm new at this.
That's okay.
Spare
it's okay.
me.
Just remember, I am number 3 right now.
But you've always been number 2 to me.
2. Just remember, second in command is the first one to blame.
Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blaming you right now.
I mean, I'm doing a terrible job at this.
That's okay.
So.
That's all right. That is okay.
You want to talk about some shit?
I would like to mention our main sponsor.
We should.
Of the Cam Auto Mag CAMcast.
Yes.
That would be Steady Broke Clothing. SteadyBroke.com. Steady.broke on all social medias. So, go on down to their website. You can get all kinds of super cool stuff. They've got, trucker hats. They've got t-shirts. They've got crop tops. All the good stuff. They've got their whole back-to-school Letterman design right now going on.
Yee.
Hey, Trent, when are they going to have those hats in stock? Are they in?
Are they
okay,
in?
cool. The Broke hats are in.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm going to need me some of that.
Yes, we're going to have to get some of those. So, anywho, Steady Broke Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually, let's see, what is it? Coupon code. Yeah.
Cam Auto 15.
Cam Auto 15. You type that in, and you get 15% off the entire order.
Indeed.
Super cool. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. Steady Broke Clothing.
Steady.broke on Instagram?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
They're all social medias.
Okay, great. Good to know.
So, thank you. Thank you so much, Tommy.
And once you're done shopping there, you can head over.
No, that's not how we do this.
That's not how we do this?
That's not how we do this. We have this thing here.
Disappointed Mike is disappointed.
That tells us what we do.
Let's edit this bit out.
Yeah, no. We might as well treat this live.
No. I'm cutting this out.
We're going to just slam right into racing news.
Goddamn.
Yeah. So, there's a big one here going on. Kimi, I guess people were uncertain of where he was going. And I guess he is...
like myself.
Yeah. I guess he's racing for Sauber now.
Interesting.
So, let's see. And then Leclerc is going to Ferrari.
Oh?
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. Thank you for the pizza, Trent.
Thank you
so
Trent.
much. As this thing just fades farther and farther down into...
All right.
I know how to use Audacity. I will clean this up.
Am
I doubt
back
it.
on?
You're hot.
I'm hot. Okay, so
Wow.
yeah.
So hot.
So sorry, nobody wanted to talk intelligently about F1 there.
I have nothing to add.
So yeah, Kimi Räikkönen actually started his career with Sauber, and he's going back there on a 2-year contract, which is really surprising because as who's the other guy who's on this podcast? Step Pizza Dad.
Brandon Christiansen.
Yes, he
We're having some
feels
terrible
like-
selective
yes.
memory right
Good
now.
Lord.
He feels like Kimi should be put out to pasture. But, I mean, just the other week, Kimi had the fastest lap in F1 ever. Like, he still has something left in the tank. And anyway, so he's going for 2 years to Sauber, and then Leclerc's being bumped up from Sauber to Ferrari.
Okay, so that's how that's working.
Yeah, he's being
Got
promoted.
it.
He's only 20 years old, and he's racing for Ferrari now.
Good
It's
Lord.
pretty crazy.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, Chuck. Not bad.
But speaking of F1 news, there was the Singapore F1 this weekend, and Brandon's one of Brandon's favorites, I should say, Lewis Hamilton.
His favorite person in the world.
Yeah, he took the win, and not only that, it was a pretty sizable gap. But Verstappen got close because of traffic at one point, but couldn't pull off the move, and then Sergio Perez was just ridiculous. He crashed his own teammate out in the first turn, and then he crashed out Sergei Sirotkin. He crashed into Sirotkin later in the race, which is ridiculous and awesome. And then Sirotkin actually managed to block Brendan Hartley at one point, like totally went off the racing line and screwed his race up and got a 5-second penalty for it. Not the only one in the race. I forget who the other 5-second penalty was. But.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it was not a good weekend for Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel.
Again, they screw up the pit strategy. Like Kimi lost. Do you need some help with the pizza there?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. So their pit strategy wasn't the best, and that screwed them up, which screwed Kimi up the other week. So, yeah. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton's going to win the championship now. He's 40 points ahead.
Oh,
So-
holy crap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So one thing
6
I
rounds
wanted to point
remaining.
out, you see the high degradation tires at their worst at this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were running the Hyper Ultras and I think Super Softs. And one of the major problems was during qualifying, they were running 136-minute laps. In the race, they were up to like 146. So there was like a 10-second difference in times. So
That's
that's
rough.
something that really needs to change with the sport.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there wasn't anything really good on that one. So let's see here.
Yeah, so more F1 news, though. The IndyCar, COTA, they are going to be racing there next year, and they will actually be using the F1 track layout.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is this from Jay Fry?
Yes, it is. He's the competition director there. But, yeah, there was some talk about if they were going to do something different for IndyCar.
Did
But-
they give an explanation for that? As to why they would use that configuration?
I'm not sure, honestly. They were talking about some other configurations, but they decided that they would just go ahead and use that F1 track layout.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see here.
Man, it feels like I'm the only person who looked at the agenda here, by the way, which is
Well,
probably
I
the
don't.
case.
I don't know anything about Formula One, so
I'm in the
that's,
same
that's
boat.
why I'm having
We'll get
to
on
cruise through this.
to another story.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Don Panos
Yeah.
unfortunately passed away. So he was the father of Dan Panos, who did the Panos cars, the AIV Roadster, the Esperante.
Yeah. Those were actually my favorite cars when I was a little kid.
Dude, they were awesome.
They were dope.
Well, and even a little bit further on that, he's the VP of IMSA.
Right. So he played a huge part in that and founded ALMS, actually. But he was 83 years old, and it's unfortunate that has happened, but he definitely made an impact on open wheel racing and American sports car racing throughout the years.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Always will be remembered, for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely made an impact.
Let's see.
Going back to IndyCar a little bit, though, we had the Sonoma race, the season finale over the weekend, and Scott Dixon won his 5th IndyCar title. But
congratulations!
Yeah, Alexander Rossi second in the championship. He was definitely worried about him, but I know Evil Trent over there has a little bit more to say about it than I do. But no, he's he's waving me off. Okay,
You
never
stole
mind.
my line. That's all I knew.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Mike, we're so sorry.
We're not even 10 minutes into
so
this, and we're
sorry.
already to the news. Like, this is horrendous.
Well, the great thing is, there.
Do we get a do-over?
No, we don't. But
Mulligan.
you can get yourself some Cam Auto swag.
Damn.
And you can have a onesie even that Evil Trent over here actually got for his offspring. And shout out to Dan Chalinsky as well for doing that. And I am actually rocking a part of the fall collection that is not out yet. This is a nice long sleeve tee that.
Damn.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
It
blue
matches-
with the white Cam logo. So.
Will you be modeling that for the website?
No. I think we're going to have Jerry on for that.
Yes.
But then
Even better.
then
But I mean,
it'll-
he goes shirtless, so
Yeah.
I don't know that would work out too well.
Are there cam shorts?
Not yet. Not
Ooh,
as of
that'd
yet.
be cool. Like some Cam mesh shorts.
I'd be cool with that. I mean, I'd be really cool with that. I mean, we got all kinds of good stuff, though. I mean,
I just picked up a phone case.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Which phone are you rocking? again?
Samsung Galaxy S8.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, I'm still rocking my iPhone X case. It's still kicking ass and taking names.
How long have you had it for? Like a few months now,
A
right?
couple months now, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I drop this phone on a daily basis, and it's still fine. Like, I mean, I'm pretty hard on my phone, and so the
Yeah.
red is just barely fading off the Cam logo.
It
but
looks kind of cool, though.
That's a couple of months of getting beat on, so I'm pretty happy.
It adds character for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good case. So, you got all kinds of good stuff like that. You can get hats, T-shirts. We're looking into sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts, I'm sure.
Yep.
We've
Fall
got,
collection's coming. That makes it sound like we're legitimate, but
okay, well,
fall collection is in route.
okay.
And you can also get the old school script logo, which Trent Nathan Tanner over there is rocking.
Sporting the Cam Automag shirt.
Yeah, I made sure to go home and change.
Hey,
Nice.
there you go.
Very good, very good.
Awesome.
He's doing better than we are.
I mean, I'm rocking the Super Tuner shirt because I saw Jordan over the weekend.
Hey, all right.
There you go.
That's cool.
Up at Park City for Cars and Coffee.
And I'm just still covered in work. So, yeah.
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 Anywho, keep in mind that all of our sizes go up to 3X, so that's thick with 3 C's.
We are fat kid friendly.
We are fat kid friendly. All of our new stuff goes up to 4X. So,
Damn.
if you're big and proud of it, make sure to rock our stuff. So, anywho, CAMautoswag.com. Hit it up. Check out all of our good stuff. Support us because, that's the cool thing to do.
Help support us get Mike back.
Yeah.
So we don't have these heaping piles of shit.
Well, I mean, I think really what it's going to be is support Mike in finding new co-hosts.
Ah, there
because
we go.
Yeah.
We're all fired after this.
Yeah.
I'm firing up the resume.
We are all fired after this. Hey, Trent, you want a more permanent position over here on the CAMcast?
The CAMcast is having open auditions next Monday.
Yeah. Next Monday at 6
come try
p.m.
out. Yeah.
Just show up at Mike's basement.
Goddamn.
Oh,
The
wow,
good news
that
is I think my job is safe because of my financial contributions to this entity. But
I'm just here.
Mike has threatened to change the time and not tell me. So, his parents like me though, so I'm sure I'll find out.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm just going to take my headphones and leave.
Damn. You petty fuck.
grab yourself a slice of Supreme on the way out.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Actually, that looks really good. I'm going to do that. So, hey, the whole thing with diesels, Dieselgate,
Yeah.
and all that.
Volkswagen Audi.
This war on diesels in the United States, worldwide even. What's going on with that, right? So BMW has announced that they are canceling all of their U.S.-bound diesels.
Yes.
Not even just the 540, but
No.
like everything.
Everything.
Well, the
Damn.
540 is notable because they just launched it a couple of months ago. Like, they did a marketing initiative for it and all that, and a couple of months later, bam, gone.
So I kind of wonder why that is the case. I wonder if there's something that's coming down the pipeline that we aren't privy to that perhaps
might be.
automakers are.
They might just be taking a hiatus and kind of figuring some things out.
I don't. They did say that they are open to consumer demand, but they already took off the 328 diesel and whatnot off their website.
Their SUVs are probably going to be...
Yep, their X5 diesel is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying that the plug-in hybrid is their future. So they did update the X5. What is it? I forget. Their
The
names
X-Drive
are ridiculous.
40i and
Yeah.
X-Drive 50i. Is that the one?
No, the electric one, the 40E or something like that.
Oh,
they did
got
just
it.
update that to actually have a decent amount of range. Before it was like 15 miles of range.
Oh,
Now
weird.
it's up to like 40 miles of range.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So straight from a BMW spokesperson, they say they're focusing more on their plug-in hybrids instead of efficient diesels.
I mean, I could see that already, coming as just like the future, but seeing them just completely kill off diesels is a little sad.
So they say here, quote, BMW of North America has seen a decrease in diesel sales and at the same time has seen dramatic sales growth for plug-in hybrid technology and a strong demand for performance-oriented gas motors.
Well,
Well, of course they saw a huge increase in sales because they didn't really have any plug-in electric vehicles minus the i8 and the i3.
Okay, that's fair.
They now have they had a hybrid 3 Series before, but now they have like a plug-in X5.
You're right.
They have a plug-in 5 Series and whatnot. I mean, they're small, like I said, small amounts of electric range. But
percentage growth, though.
yeah,
Like, of course
percentage
it's gonna
growth
be
was huge because they have new models.
Yeah, fuck
But,
all.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not biased at all. I'm not pissed. Whatever.
Yeah,
mean-
so, and I mean, I guess they're going to be running the 328D, I guess. I think that's going to be the last car that they make with a diesel. That means that's going to be the last diesel car available in the U.S. from Germany. Sorry, from a German brand.
So they are keeping, I guess, the 328D around. They took it off the website, but they're keeping it around until the new G20 model comes
Got it.
out.
Okay,
And
that
not
must
the
be what
not
it's...
the Infinity G20. We're used to like E30, E36.
Right.
G20 is the model code for
Go
the
figure.
new 3 Series. That's coming out this year though. So
Yeah, so even other automakers like Mercedes-Benz, which you might
Are they still making
consider-
blue tech?
they're not.
Really?
No,
Okay.
actually, Mercedes has...
Mercedes acts the diesels in the U.S. too.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have no 2018 model year diesel cars.
Interesting.
Yeah, so which is kind of sad that to think
bit.
because you'd think you hear Mercedes and you're talking about diesels, it almost is a
I'm
shoe-in.
still seeing. I saw an A7 diesel today. Actually.
Oh, really?
Thought
An
that was
A7
interesting.
TDI.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That is
I'm-
not a common vehicle to start with.
No, it's really not. And I'm still seeing some like Jetta Sport Wagon TDIs rolling around,
Interesting. So,
but that's just anecdotal.
Surprisingly, I've seen like 3 VW Beetle TDI convertibles in the last week.
I actually
That's
didn't know you could
rare.
option them that way.
Oh yeah,
That's so weird.
Kind of surprising, but at the same time expected.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
Now
mean-
that it's mentioned, I
But-
kind of feel like that was supposed to be a thing all along. So,
yeah. But speaking of VW Beetles, they killed it.
It's done
oh, that Beetle has been squashed.
Yes,
again.
yes.
the new Beetle.
The new Beetle.
All about that new
is
new.
now
Yeah,
no more.
That new is now that old.
Damn.
That good is that bad.
It's so. Was that still rocking a 5-cylinder? Still?
No. They switched to the 1.8 exclusively, or
Okay.
except they did have a 2.8 or 2.0 and a 1.8. Sorry, not exclusively.
They had the 2.5 for a second.
They did have the 2.5 for a year or two. It
Okay.
wasn't very long. But yeah, they are now all turbo and
Yeah, and now all dead. So
now all dead. They are going out with a bang with a special edition in exclusive colors, and surprisingly, it's cheaper than the equivalent model. So
I mean,
That tells
that
me-
ship is burning, so why not? You know?
Right.
That tells me they were all built in Mexico on a Friday,
Yeah.
right as
4:59,
Modelo time
yeah.
was rolling around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, last Beetle? Oh, it's Modelo time, fool.
I mean, they've come out with like those special like Dune editions and like these, weird.
The dunes are pretty cool, honestly.
I mean, they
even
look
though
kinda
they're
cool.
front-wheel drive, but
Like,
still.
I still don't give a shit. like people, I don't know. That's never sparked any real interest, I don't think.
I always secretly wanted Volkswagen to bring out the new Beetle and subsequently the new Beetle. I still don't know what they're calling it. Maybe they're just calling it the Beetle. I don't know.
It is called Beetle.
Beetle. Just Beetle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
New
anywho,
Beetle was just for like the early 2000s.
that was
I
the
think.
first one.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Got it. Anywho, I'd always kind of closet hoped that they would bring out the same Haldex all-wheel drive that the TT had.
Well, so there was a special like turbo version that I thought had all-wheel drive.
I believe
no,
you're
they had
talking
the
about
Turbo S, but that was
well,
not
the,
all-wheel drive.
well, I think you're talking about the RSI. Yeah.
Oh, the RSI, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That we definitely did not get.
Europe got.
Okay, all
That
right.
was
So Europe did what I wanted. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, good to know.
250 horse VR6,
Okay,
all-wheel drive.
Basically a Mark IV
Manual.
32 with.
so yeah, okay,
With
all
the
right.
body.
Well, that makes sense. Of course, we didn't get it.
Because we always
Sad.
get shafted.
It's true.
Anyway,
Moving on. Speaking of other things that probably aren't going to see the light much longer, you know how Bugatti has a dozen plus 4, the old 16-cylinder, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're
the only motor they have.
yeah, you're right. Thanks for blowing another hole in my ship.
You know
Yep.
that one
You
motor
know,
that they
no
have?
worries.
That one motor they have, you mean the only one? Yeah, that one.
It is one.
I'm
That-
trying to help you, Dave, by correcting you.
But you shouldn't.
Oh, too late.
But Dave's the professor.
It's
Anywho.
not constructive criticism
okay.
either. It's just
This
criticism.
is what happens
It's
when you
okay.
correct the professor,
That's okay.
the daddy rats.
It's okay. You know what? Just take this W16, cut it in half, give me a VR8.
Yes.
I'll put it in a sandrail. I'll make cool shit happen with it. Like that's all I want. That's all I
Yes.
want. Anywho, so that W16,
Yeah.
the only motor that Bugatti makes. Excuse me.
You're welcome.
Apparently, it's run its course. It's not coming back.
Really?
They're doing
Yep.
something else, and
They-
it's due to emissions standards.
Yeah, they said.
Wait, you're telling me the 16-cylinder engine isn't like nice to the environment?
Apparently not.
quad turbo 16-cylinder
Exactly,
engine.
yeah.
No,
You're just
they,
all full of corrections.
Well, fuck
tonight,
me
Trent.
then.
You're welcome. No, so they're saying that the 16-cylinder has run its course. They are going to make a few changes, a few iterations, because they can't quite get rid of it yet, because they don't have anything really to replace it yet.
Of course, they don't have anything to replace it. I
Right.
mean, they just brought out the Devo.
Right,
with
which
the same engine.
uses the 16-cylinder, makes 1,500 horsepower. So they did say that they do plan to use the 16-cylinder for a little while longer. However, no future 16-cylinder will be developed.
Well, I'm curious to see how long the Devo is going to be made for and how long the Chiron's going to be made for.
Well,
'cause-
the Devo's only
it
40
limited?
units, and
Yeah.
that they're already sold.
okay, so how long is the Chiron going to go for?
Um,
Because the Veyron went from, 06 to last year?
right, but they did a limited unit production, which I think the Chiron they'll produce 500, if I'm not wrong. Somewhere, sub 500 is what they'll make of them. But they make so few of them, it will last, another 5 years.
Of
And
course.
they might, have the SS version later.
Well,
they may have
they do have the Chiron Sport, which has no additional horsepower.
Grand
but
Vitesse versions and like convertible
Right,
versions
right.
of those, and
they have so many limited editions of limited editions of limited
Pagani's the
editions.
same way.
Basically one-offs that they slap a different badge on.
Exactly.
And
this
those cars already have owners already in line.
yes.
Go figure. Okay, so it's not really going to matter then at
Yeah.
this point from a manufacturing standpoint, or
But
from a
I'm just-
sales standpoint.
I'm just curious to see how long they say that this is the last time we're making it, but what does that exactly mean, right?
I
Right.
mean, they could theoretically stretch it out to have a hybrid version of the 16-cylinder. They just don't develop anything new on it.
It
That'd be
makes
crazy.
me wonder if the Oh, it makes me wonder if they're going to get like a twin-turbo W8 with some hybrid assist of some kind.
I can see them downsizing.
I see all of the hypercars going this dual power route, which and it makes sense. That's the future of it.
918 LaFerrari.
Exactly. And I don't think they're going to stay with an exotic number of cylinders like 10 or 12. Obviously, 16's out of the picture. But if you cut everything in half and add the rest of that back as hybrid power, electric power.
What would keep them from doing that with it's all the same family. What would keep them from using the next generation Aventador replacement hybrid V12? Because they've come out and said, this Aventador is the last naturally aspirated V12. Or they could do that with the 10-cylinder in the Huracan, but...
Right.
I
But do you think a Bugatti would end up actually staying naturally aspirated? Or are you talking just using that engine rebuilt for...
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It could be...
All right. Well, on that point,
take the basic design and then...
I could see it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the problem with Lamborghini's V12 is it's from the 70s, so...
True.
It kind of is that Countach.
So the hybrid version's going to get 8 miles per gallon. Yeah. No.
Instead of the 4.
Hey, guys, good news. We've dropped Bosch L-Jetronic. We put a carb back on it.
Goddamn.
LP5000S, sponsored by Edelbrock. That's a Daddy Rad's joke of the night.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, in other, cool news, I
Is it?
care less about Bugatti, but I think this is cool. So... Aston Martin's doing cool things right now.
Yes, I'm excited by this.
Especially the Rapide. I like this car a lot.
Is there a new Rapide?
There's a new version of it.
The Rapide E.
It's an all-electric Rapide.
Correct.
Interesting.
So I'm a huge fan of the Rapide. I think it doesn't get enough credit. Yes, it is very tight for being a four-seater and all that. I get its flaws, but it just looks amazing, sounds amazing. However, they are getting rid of all the sound and making an entirely electric version based on the Rapide sedan. 610 horsepower, 700 pound-feet of torque.
That's out of 2 motors.
At 0 RPM.
Yeah.
Right.
And approximately 200-mile range. However, it is limited to 155 customers.
Do they...
So they're already sold, basically.
They're all sold.
Probably.
So this is basically Aston Martin's middle finger to Tesla, kinda.
Yeah, but it's still going to be 2.5 times.
They're like, we built the nicer car,
that cost...
middle finger up, but it goes a third as far as your car, and it cost way more.
Did they say how much it costs?
I don't know if they did.
Because if a Model S costs $100,000, $130,000, it's probably going to cost $250 plus.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good call because as of about a year ago, the rumor mill was producing a $250,000 estimation, and they haven't confirmed nor denied it. But looking at it, the
old Rapide is north of 200.
Right.
So, and if
but not on the used market.
Oh boy!
Ouch!
I am looking forward to that.
I'm sure you are.
They're not quite in spitting range, but they're close.
Yeah. Let's see here. So there's a lot of exterior and underbody makeovers to keep wind noise down.
Yeah, it will do 0 to 60 in less than 4.
I sure as fuck hope so.
It will be good for 155 miles an hour too, which is pretty high for an electric vehicle. It's told that they wanted to make it feel like an Aston. They didn't want it to feel like an appliance or an electric car.
That definitely sounds like something to come out of Aston Martin's PR department.
Well, sure,
and they're trying to keep the pep in the step too. They want you to still be able to drive this car. Their main benchmark right now is that they want the Rapide E to be capable of a full Nürburgring lap.
Yes.
Without any derating of the battery.
Correct.
Which is super cool.
Yes. So, speaking of which, Tesla was a total side note, but Tesla was actually out at a track day at Laguna Seca this weekend.
Oh, really?
And they were running some track times out there, and they were coming up with some pretty impressive ones. The Model 3 Performance ran like a 135.
Wow, really?
Randy Popes does 132 in the brand new ZR1. So,
Oh, that's because
pretty
this
impressive.
is Motor Trend's best driver's car is happening.
No, this was actually a Tesla thing.
Oh,
that
really?
They took the cars out.
Wow.
If you don't follow Bay Area Nady on Instagram, you should. He has P1 and 720S and GT3 RS, and he tracks them all. Like, he makes sure to, yes, clapping for him. Yes, he is, he tracks his cars all the time. I often wonder what he does for work because he's at a track day every week.
He probably owns something that pays him just for, existing.
Maybe. But anyway, he was out there at a track day racing his GT3 RS.
Like you do.
Because both his P1 and his 720S were down because of brake pads, I think. Like he just chews through them, and the brake pads were on back order. He spends like $14,000 every time he has to go through a set of pads and rotors.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Must be nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he posted some behind-the-scenes stuff of Tesla out there racing their Model 3 and Model S out there trying to get track times. The only thing that's popped up so far is that Model 3 Performance did run a 135, which is rather impressive for Laguna Seca.
That's
And
pretty
a
hot.
5,000-pound vehicle.
Yes. Now, the thing is, they did say, well, he posted this in the behind-the-scenes, they got one lap, and that was it. They had to go in after a minute 35 because they were hot.
Yeah, they're
right?
getting hot. They're overheating these things.
Right. So, that's
Have you
what's
seen the Car Love video with Tiff Needell?
Oh,
Where he's
yeah.
doing the Tesla race series, and he couldn't even get a couple laps out of it.
Yes, I did see that. But that's what makes this Rapide impressive, is they're saying they're going to go around the Nürburgring for one lap, which,
So that's 7-8 minutes
yeah.
of just pure
Hard.
torture.
Right.
I mean, 7-8 minutes,
It's-
with a talented driver. Because,
Right.
I mean, this Rapide, it's a 4-door electric sedan. It's not exactly a super lightweight thing that can get tossed around. It's not going to like it. Even though that weight is down low.
Right, that is fair. Yeah, it is a heavy car. It doesn't have
Yeah.
a lot of range, so you're definitely going to be sucking the juice out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and just overheating.
Right,
It's
exactly.
going to
And
be
so,
working that battery in those motors.
so that causes me to wonder what they're doing with
And
the
the
cooling
regen.
system on this.
And the regen system
Yeah.
is not going to be happy.
Right. There's going to be a lot of heat coming and going.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool. So we'll see. I mean, they're trying to keep everything feeling like an Aston Martin. And
Yeah.
so it's
I
going to
think
drive
this-
sporty. I
this
mean,
is
you
just-
can really flog an Aston.
I mean, if they can actually pull that off, more props to them for keeping that feel.
Yeah, they're definitely dipping their toes in. We're going to see more, but this is them, feeling the waters, feeling out the waters, seeing how I can't talk. Just
testing
taking
the
someone
waters.
else. That's the one I
There
was
we
looking
go.
for.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back
See, I
for
got to
that.
correct you on something.
It hurts. It stings.
So
Had my own medicine, and it is bitter.
So the Rapide E is going to be built at their new St. Athan facility. That's what they're calling the home of electrification. Their words, not ours.
That sounds like something George Bush would have said, like in 2005.
Bringing back the bushery.
God damn.
Okay.
Electrification. Electrify.
So,
Electrical fly.
Damn.
That's what he would have said.
Yeah.
I know you miss your daddy.
Fuck.
Anywho.
yeah. So
Wow, we're
moving
just
on
gonna,
from that.
Yeah, so fourth quarter 2019, they're expected to hit. I'm sure all 155 of these are going to be sold by the time that happens.
Yes.
And they're also, like we said earlier, they're rumored to be about $250,000. So,
Yep.
Plus.
but I mean, that's going to be pretty cool because this is a step in the right direction because now, we have a lot of big hitters that are bringing in these new electric cars that are doing the things that Elon's Teslas have been doing. So this is going to be pretty cool.
So progress?
Question mark. Emphasis on the... While Gavin fights with a slice of Supreme Pizza Hut pizza. Hey, by the way, Pizza Hut, you need to hire people who know how to actually use a pizza slicer.
Yeah, up your
Yeah,
shit, guys. God damn.
they are not on it tonight.
Cut-
so.
Not on their game.
Yeah.
Get back to Marcos.
But speaking of being on their game, Lexus
Segways.
first to the market and with a mass-produced car with cameras that replace mirrors.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But of course, we're not going to get it.
No, of course not.
No,
it
that's
Japan
not
only?
legal for the U.S.
Yeah, so this is crazy that the 2019 ES sedan is the first of anything. So, I mean...
Which is kind of surprise.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a concept car back in the early 2000s from GM, I want to say.
Well, yeah, they've had concept
There've been
cars for
concepts
years
since the 80s,
that
I'm
have
sure.
this
Yeah.
because they are more aerodynamic if they have those cameras instead of mirrors. But the thing is, like, if you look at the pictures of this thing, I'm kind of surprised at how big it is for
It's
replacing
actually
a mirror.
really large considering that cameras these days are getting smaller.
Right.
And smaller and easier to integrate.
It's almost like they use the same housing and they just put a camera in there just for fun.
It seriously looks like the little carbon fiber rectangle race mirrors that people put on their little hot boy
yeah,
cars,
it's like
right?
a little APR wing, APR mirrors. Or
It looks
something.
like that, but with a camera in it.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
It's
they
like
could've done a
Wall-E
lot
sticking
better.
his head out the side of a window.
Yeah, I
and
feel
just-
like they could have done a little bit better than that.
Yeah,
For
but
if aerodynamic reasons, I don't know.
they do say that it is better than a regular mirror for the fact that you can see more, and when you activate the turn signal, it kind of zooms in on the picture a little bit.
Which is pretty cool. Now, I don't know exactly where they're... Oh, okay, no, they do have screens in place of the viewing
They're
area
right
on
there
the
in
A-pillar.
On the A-pillar.
That's cool. Okay, so... All right, that's cool.
But the thing is, I really don't like it. Like, I get the concept. I just don't think it's going to stand up to the rain and snow as well, which they do say it has a overhang that protects it more from that.
Which, okay, that is a fair point. We're seeing that a lot on, like, the rear view cameras and tailgate cameras that are on currently available vehicles.
Yeah.
And especially in dirty climates, like our winters, the Great White North, or vehicles that see any measure of time off-road, or off a clean paved surface,
Sure.
rather, you're gonna have issues.
But what
I mean,
happens
that's
when
the same
ice
thing
gets-
happens with, with a current mirror,
But what happens when ice gets on the actual camera here? Because if you get like ice, like little icicles that run from the top of the mirror down and get onto the glass,
It says it
You can-
resists accumulation to raindrops and
Okay,
snow
you
due to
can-
their design, but it does not look that way.
you can resist all you want. It's still going to happen.
Yeah, anyway,
That was metal, dude.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, when you break a mirror right now, if you accidentally hit your mirror against something, I mean, mirrors are still expensive, but it's not that expensive to replace when you think about
Do these
a
fold at
camera.
all? Are they just like fold? Is
I'm
there a
sure
fold in
they
the
do.
arm? They
Yeah.
have to.
I'm sure they have some type of breakaway impact.
Because if not, the
deal.
maintenance department at the Lexus dealerships are going to be so happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you need another door because you clipped your camera off your car?
$5,000, please.
Oh, that
But-
was a 1 year only color? Yeah.
So, think
Here's
about,
a loaner with mirrors because we don't want to pay for you to do it again.
But think about screens, too. Like, those screens are going to go out eventually, too, that show the image from the mirror.
What about
That's
response
gonna be
time
obnoxious.
and lag?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Like on my a common thing on my Cayenne is the screen in the middle between the speedometer and the odometer. The pixels start going out on that. And then, granted, a lot of vehicles have that issue, like BMWs, for example.
Mostly
Their
BMWs
dashes,
and
yeah,
stuff from the early 2000s were
Yeah.
just not good.
right. But I mean, what's to say that the screens that they provide in these aren't, faulty for one reason or another, and they go out, and then you have to tear apart the door panel and source these screens.
I can just see the recall notices coming in now.
Yeah. But the good news is, for us at least, it's only available in Japan. And even though it is legal in Europe to have cameras like this, Lexus has flat out said we're only going to use it in Japan for the time being.
Basically, where people are responsible humans.
And not litigious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, leave it to them to test this in, like, the closest thing we can find to a utopian society.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect test bed.
Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see the sink or swim here. I have a feeling that this is going to go probably the same way as the autopilot in its current iterations, it's going to...
Autopilot.
Thank you, air quotes. Because of the human element and potential failure rate. More so the human element.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about the other week that Audi didn't want to bring their level 3 autonomous system to the U.S. because they didn't want to have to teach people how to use it.
Right. Right.
So-
Educating these people is the other battle.
I mean, you
and
see the
that has proven
backlash.
difficult.
You see, excuse me, see the backlash going against Tesla.
Yeah.
I mean, they also made the mistake of calling it autopilot. They're trying to be all funny and snarky and, clever. And they went and called something that it isn't.
Right.
So,
Right.
It's catchy, though, so it helped them
so
in
is
marketing speak.
ludicrous mode and
Right.
their, whatever.
But Audi is most likely going to be the first person to bring the side camera mirror technology to Europe because their e-tron, their electric SUV, will be coming to Europe sometime next year with those side cameras, and they do say they want to bring it to the U.S. with these cameras by the end of 2019, but legislation has to change to allow it first. So that tells you something. They're willing to bring these side cameras to the U.S., Audi is, but they're not willing to give us semi-autonomous driving.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of interesting, a VP at the U.S. largest Porsche dealer has made off with $2.5 million in customer deposits.
For GT3s.
Yes, GT3s and GT3 RSs. He took deposits for these without ever planning to have an allocation for them or planning to order these vehicles. He took some forged order books and took deposits on all these vehicles and then pocketed it, and he disappeared last month.
Absolute mad lad.
But the funny thing is, this is not the first time this has been an issue. So there's been complaints about this particular employee, even though he's been there for 10 years before. But he also so he basically filtered all these deposits through Champion Autosport. The Porsche dealer was Champion Motorsports.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close enough name that people didn't have a problem wiring the money, and then he just transferred it to his own personal account.
They started from the same people. They are the same. Champion.
No, this was his shell account. The money he was siphoning the money off into something that was very similar in name to Champion Motorsports, Porsche, whatever, to fool the customers. And then he had another shell company he had where he duped people out of 911Rs.
Ouch.
So
so he's a repeat offender here.
Yes, so the first time he actually did deliver a vehicle after repeated attempts, and then ended up charging them an extra $350,000 more than he originally told them or agreed to. But then he took a deposit on another one and took off with that money.
So this begs the question, have dealerships run their course?
Oh, whoa.
Good question.
Wow. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the dealership is seen its day. It's going to go to online ordering because of issues like this.
But on that same note, do you think the manufacturers have the capacity to maybe possibly pull something off like this? Or somebody within the manufacturer employment?
Well, I think you have a greater odds of the checks and balances at the manufacturer level than you do at a local dealership level.
That's a good argument.
True, yeah.
That's a very good argument. So let's see. He was siphoning the funds through the Champion Autosport account within Bank of America, actually, to his personal accounts.
Yeah. They did file a lawsuit against him, but nobody can find him right now.
Right, exactly. There is an injunction to freeze that bank account. There are 24 transactions total that have totaled up to $2,560,198.
Correct. So they have actually been in contact with this VP of marketing, I think it was, and he admitted to it, but he's not giving himself up. But this is just a really interesting story all around. Apparently he has 10 children, and he has developed serious financial troubles through payment of child
So he's
support.
a fucker in more than one way.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, a lot of people are saying there's no way Champion Porsche didn't know this was happening.
Right.
So there's some potential inside.
Yeah, so
scheming.
And the thing is, what turned a lot of people off about this is Champion Porsche, instead of directing the customer claims directly, basically said you need to direct all things through our law firm. And people were like, well, if this was just one employee that was doing this, then the dealership would probably handle it at their own level.
Right.
But because they...
Now they're all saying, nope, deal with our attorneys.
Yeah,
deal with our laws.
They're thinking that somebody else might be involved. Granted, it's all speculation, but yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised seeing that it's coming from Florida.
Fucking Florida.
We expect nothing less out of Florida.
I mean, come on.
We love you, but...
They title rare cars as kit cars out there.
They do.
You can basically do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with enough Cuban cigars and cocaine.
Florida, everyone.
Yeah.
Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
And bath salts.
So it makes me wonder what's going to happen to What's going to happen? Wow. What's going to happen to Champion Porsche?
Definitely going to have a reputation hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of them before, so...
Oh, no, they're big.
They're huge.
Racing. Yeah, they have their own racing team. And
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of historic vehicles that they've raced, and they're a big deal. So,
well, I mean, y'all remember when the 918 got stolen here in downtown, right?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did the local Porsche dealership, did they lose their reputation for allowing, the keys to $1 million car to be just left on the desk of the salesman? I don't know.
Not that I know of.
I mean, I don't know. I do not know.
I'm a Porsche fan, but I don't buy Porsches, so I don't know.
Hey, we're lovers, not experts here. That's,
exactly. Yeah,
like Mike always says. Okay. Well, that's a good one. Let's see.
It seems like every time I take a bite, it's just silence. It's like the time for a transition or something, and I'm taking a bite and I can't transition it. So, step up your game, guys. Next episode.
You know. How's
anyway,
that sound?
The slowest selling used cars of 2018.
Yeah, so I noticed whoever posted this link into the agenda took the link specifically to the number 2 spot.
Yeah,
not
that
the
was
whole list.
that was just a random thing. So
Kind of a weird
you
one.
just slide it.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
The link
All
just
right.
went to that slide, and I'm just throwing it out there, throwing somebody under the bus.
That was me. Thank you.
Oh well, tell me what the bottom of that bus looks like.
It needs a power wash. So starting at number 10, the Lincoln MKX.
Why
Can't
does that
say I'm really surprised.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
The thing is, it was completely revamped 2016 model year, and nobody wants it apparently on the used market. So it hangs around for about, on average, 62.2 days before it sells.
Ouch.
Yeah. But that's not as bad as the rest of the list here.
Okay. All right. Well, what's next on
Get
that?
ready to take a drink.
Oh no.
Number 9, the Ford Taurus.
Oh no.
Taurus Challenge.
Driving experience.
Yeah.
Drink.
So the Taurus, on average, sits used on a lot for 62.6 days.
So, I guess that doesn't really surprise me, considering
Right.
that Ford is making maneuvers to get rid of all cars,
Yep. They're nixing
save
it.
for the Mustang.
Yep.
Well,
I feel like this is part of that concreting.
think of the last time that a new Ford Taurus came out, right? How long has this generation been around for?
That's fair.
They've
This one, I
gotten
think
super stale.
that okay, yeah.
Oh,
I think.
2010.
barring
2010.
minor.
So not as old as a GTR.
Damn. Well, I mean,
you make a very valid argument.
Wow.
that car may be on this list. We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I'm starting to think that anything specialty, quote unquote. Thank you. Anything specialty or low volume. I mean, yeah, the GTR is considered a production car, but
It's not a super high volume car.
it's not a car they move like a Maxima.
No, but
will.
I am curious if the 370Z is going to be on this list too. We'll find out.
One that surprises me a little bit because I see so many of them here just in the Salt Lake Valley, the Mazda CX-9.
Yes.
That's true. You don't see new ones. You don't see new ones like this.
Okay, that's fair.
You'll see like the old gens.
But yeah, the thing is they sell like crazy here, and I've known multiple people who have owned CX-9s, and it seemed like the used market was hotter than it is, but apparently they sit around for 62.9 days on average.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Almost 3.
Damn.
Just a little over 2 months.
The article does state, though, that it is lacking in, like, the electronic gizmos, the departure lane assist,
that's
all
fair.
that stuff.
But to be fair, Mazda has been putting a lot more of their emphasis in their smaller cars. The CX-3s and the CX-5s. I mean, Gavin, you and I have both driven CX-5s that were very well optioned, and they're a fantastic little SUV.
I would have one.
I
would
dig
have
them.
one.
I dig them. I've got a friend who works for Southtown Mazda. He's a master tech down there.
Oh, cool.
He's got a brand new full options 2018, actually, I think this one he has, I think, might be a 2019. But anyway, it's white with the parchment white interior.
CX-5?
It's got every option. Yeah, CX-5.
I'm jealous.
It's got every box checked. And, I mean, he was considering trading it in for a diesel 6 if/when we get him. But
we will get one.
This is the second CX-5 that he had.
Okay.
He got one on lease. It was a short-term lease. Loved it. It was dark gray with black interior, and now he got this white with white parchment interior, and it is just a fantastic looking car inside.
Wait, he's a mechanic and he's got a white interior?
He's a good mechanic.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go.
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, like I worry about the gray fabric seats in my 2-decade-old Outback. So no, he's good at what he does, so he doesn't get really too filthy. So, but anywho, he loves it. So I'm surprised to see that the big brother of the CX-3 and 5.
It's something we're not surprised by.
No, the Cadillac XT5.
Isn't this basically an Equinox with a Cadillac crest on it?
Pretty much, a little bit fancier, but yeah, they just barely came out with this, switching from the SRX nameplate just 2 years ago.
Oh,
a year and a half ago.
It's a reboot of the XRS. Okay,
yeah, but
Which was always cancer anyway.
But it's really surprising that it's really surprising it's on this list so soon. But 64.2 days on average, which that's not great.
That's honestly, considering that they came out at the end of 2016 as a 2017 model, sitting on average for 2 months.
Yeah,
a vehicle that new,
right?
That's a sizable amount of its lifespan so far,
right?
You want to know what I find interesting, though, is Cadillac is super hit and miss with like their performance cars, their CTS-V, their ATS-Vs that have come out on point.
Their performance vehicles are
phenomenal.
Right. I mean, they're just typical Cadillac luxury smattered with ZR1 or ZL1 performance.
And that's not a bad thing.
And
it's not, but then they have all of these lackluster crack fillers.
Well, when you pull back and pull away from the Z06 and ZL1, parts, you have this parts bin that's just super lackluster.
Oh, right. Everything is soft touch plastic borrowed from a Malibu or an Equinox at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, and we don't have Saturns to put it all in anymore, so
Cadillac gotta put it somewhere.
So we're gonna put it in an XT5, I guess.
The real problem with the car is it's a small SUV, and I think they start at like 36.
I think you're right. They're pretty steep on pricing.
36 is not bad for a small luxury SUV. And
considering I can get,
I know
you put the V6 in it with all-wheel drive, like you actually want, with the upgraded leather and
45
everything.
plus.
Way over 40.
Look at its competition though. The Lexus NX, you can hit 50 in those pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay.
You look at the Audi Q3, you can hit high 40s in those.
Is this a contender for the Q3?
It is. Well, the Q3 is a little smaller. Q5, I think, is a little bigger.
Okay, so this is the in
between.
Yeah,
I mentioned both of them are probably.
The Q3 is probably closer, though.
It is about the same class as a Q3.
Okay, so yeah, those start in the mid-30s too. It's not unreasonable for the class. It's crazy that that's where the class has gotten to, but it's not unreasonably priced. However, it doesn't have the same cachet as an Audi or Lexus
say, as
or
a
Mercedes.
GM fan, I don't think I'd pick this Cadillac over an Audi or
Right.
a Macan.
Right.
That's
right.
fair.
Right.
That is fair.
Especially seeing as you can get virtual cockpit in Audis.
That is
You can
true.
get it in a Jetta now, even.
Yeah, it's a toned down. It's a very toned down version.
Well, the 2019, you can get the whole deck.
I've,
the whole
I've,
thing.
I've
Yeah.
seen the
Okay.
.5s.
All
I've
right.
seen them.
All right. Never mind.
But the Cadillac has Q.
Wow, that was really high definition, like hurling. That was. Can you write down that timestamp? I need that as like a text tone. That was great.
Okay, yeah, at an hour 11.
Not
30
only
minutes.
did I hear that, I felt that, and I smelt that.
You're welcome,
Just,
Mark.
I just
We'll leave
smelt
that for
throw
Don't
up.
thank
It was
me,
just
thank
like-
Trent.
Yeah.
Anywho, moving
Yeah,
on.
so
Something
number-
else that you can hurl about
Yeah.
potentially. I don't know.
No,
I like these.
I
and-
like them. I like them.
And our lovable, huggable, long-haired Joey Harrington.
Oh, he could rock one of these
He's
so hard.
he loves this car.
Oh,
he's wanted
Joey,
one for a
get
while.
this.
Yeah. Okay. So number 6. So this might work in your favor, Joey,
Yes.
because they're sitting so often on dealer lots.
Ford Flex.
The Ford Flex.
Yes.
They've only had one major update in the last decade.
Yeah.
And it was just
They're killing it next year.
It was a facelift and a little bit of a technology update. I think they changed the gauge cluster and like the center console a little bit to respond with that.
But the all-wheel drive EcoBoost model. You
Exactly.
gotta love it.
You can get a Flex Titanium that basically has Taurus Show drivetrain.
Oh,
You can
dude.
get a flappy paddle, 6-speed auto, all-wheel drive EcoBoost Flex. Yeah, I know. I see the
How much?
the surprise on your face.
How much?
I think these are used still. Well, at least a titanium EcoBoost.
the one
I think
you
they're,
want.
They're still in the 20s, I believe.
I mean, that's not bad.
They're still
though.
in the 30s.
Are they still in the 30s?
They
Okay,
hit in
then-
the 50s.
Okay.
New. So.
That makes
Okay.
that makes
I didn't.
sense.
I figured they tanked a little harder than that. But anywho,
But with that EcoBoost motor, this is like contender for a good dad car.
that is true.
I mean,
that is true.
Stage 2 at like 400 wheel.
If I'm not mistaken, there is more than one company that makes upgrade components. I think Lingenfelter played with this a little bit.
oh, did they really?
There's another one that started with an
'Cause
L.
they
I'm
like
trying to
Corvettes.
remember exactly what it was. Maybe it wasn't Lingenfelter, but there are a couple of
Late
tuning
model
shops.
performance, LMP, right? Didn't they do something with it?
No, it's a really difficult name to say
All right.
pronounce. It's one of those random ones. Anywho, there are a couple of companies that have software and small upgrade components for these, and you can get them pretty damn quick. I mean, everything you can do pretty much to a Taurus Show
Right.
slides right on with relatively little work or effort to a Flex.
Yeah.
But they're sitting
so
for
we're
almost,
a fan.
Yeah, we're fans of these. But so they're sitting about 65 days.
Yeah. Next on the list, the Land Rover Discovery Sport, which isn't entirely surprising. They've only been around a couple years, but I went and sat in one a few weeks back, and I really was not impressed. Like, I'm very familiar with the vehicles of that class range, like similar to the XT5.
GLK.
Yeah, those kind of vehicles, and I really wasn't impressed with the interior quality. It's like, oh, this is more akin to bargain basement GM than it is to, the Range Rover Velar.
And it makes me wonder who Land Rover is aiming the current disco at.
Thank you. Okay,
I don't. Who is buying this?
Because
The
people aren't
older
off-roading.
discos. Like look at the old sports, like the Range Rover sports and the HSEs and stuff like that. Obviously, that is marketed a bit more to the upper echelon, the people with some scratch, and they want the ability to haul people around and it be nice and have a lot of power and performance. I feel like the person that's going to buy this current generation Discovery probably
Same.
at an Escape.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with that. Sorry.
Yeah, the thing is, though, like, I even had this conversation with a salesperson there. It's like, okay, the new Discovery, the full-size one, not the Discovery Sport, is unibody. It's no longer, has all the off-road tricks. It was very clearly marketed as an on-road vehicle with a little off-road capability. But the Discovery Sport, it's like, all right, it's basically them trying to make a cheaper Range Rover. They're trying to make an Evoque, but not more for the more.
It doesn't.
There's just nothing that makes sense about it.
So are
they
we-
have so much crossover in size and.
Are we basically
price.
calling this this is basically a Land Rover Outback?
Yes, let's go with that.
Okay.
But something that's going to hurt your soul.
Oh, no.
Number 4,
No!
the Porsche 911.
Oh, that's too bad.
67.5 days.
Because they're
Which
selling
one?
Caymans and Boxsters more. That's why.
I mean, that is fair.
Now, the thing is, the 911 also is just getting so expensive. It
is not hard to get.
It's hard to justify the cost. I mean,
I don't think you
Boxsters-
can. I don't think you can get one under $100,000 now.
I don't think you can.
No.
They're 110 to
It is
120 for a
theoretically
base.
possible to get a Carrera base under 100, like $98,000. But yes, base.
Don't do
Space,
that.
space.
You see, Evil Trent.
We
I'm
as
not the only one that
listeners
does
don't
that.
Is
enjoy
that before tax and title and destination charge?
It
and-
includes destination, but
Oh.
not tax title, all that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
So before your local state and
Yeah,
you know,
before
Yeah,
they
so the
legislature
cheapest then
breaks
you can
off
get it
on
is like 100 and what? 10.
Yeah.
Really?
sure.
Maybe more.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I mean, unless
yeah.
you're cheap.
I'm an
with
art
sales
major.
tax,
I
I'm
don't do
not-
math.
Yeah, I don't know.
the next two aren't too surprising. They are Buicks, the LaCrosse and the Regal.
I'm
which
surprised they still make both
really,
of these.
really surprising. The Regal.
The Regal
For
GS
what-
is amazing.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not bad.
exactly.
But every single YouTube video I watched lately starts with a pre-roll ad of the new Buick Regal.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're-
I'm not buying one. Sorry,
Because they
Buick.
can't get rid of them because they're garbage.
I don't hate it, but it's just.
I think
I'm
it's
not
because
spending my money on it.
I think the advertisement thing is kicking into overdrive because people forgot who Tiger Woods is.
Yep.
He's not so sponsored by them, is he?
No,
who
long
knows?
gone.
I don't know.
but
I mean, the LaCrosse is a fairly aggressive looking car. Like I'm kind of surprised to see it from a bargain GM camp.
So Buick and Cadillac used to both be more old white people.
Right.
Throw the golf
they
bags
had,
in.
They had their certain market.
Cadillac has started at least to kind of get away from that.
No, I
Whereas
think Cadillac has full send
Right.
levitated away from that.
Buick is still there.
Right. Well, and I think Buick always will be.
Young
They
people
always
don't buy
have that.
Buicks.
You never bought a Buick, even in the 50s and 60s. You didn't buy a Buick to go fast.
unless
no.
you're
I mean, they
1980.
okay,
G
yeah.
and X's are the exception.
So the turbo thing back in the 80s, with the Buick engines that they were doing, that 3.8 and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was definitely a breakaway from their norm, but that was definitely an exception. That was a kink in the road. So seeing that they sit forever probably doesn't surprise me that much. I mean,
No.
older folks are not driving as much that I've noticed anymore.
They will be driving more without autonomous vehicles.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're just going to start catching Ubers, and those people are buying Mercedes and Kias.
Yeah, it's one of these things where Buick has lost their identity. They don't
Right.
they don't know who their
Well,
target
they're
audience is
worried about
anymore.
China, though, right?
I
They
mean,
keep
they
on
They
pushing
do well
China.
in China.
They do
Yeah.
well in China. Which is crazy. And thinking of how many Chinese people I see on a regular basis in, just Salt Lake, to think that, there's a lot of Chinese in the U.S. You'd think these people would want, a name brand that does well from their home country.
What do you mean by these people?
Yeah, Dave.
Tread lightly.
I'm going to have you reference that to Asian Mike, who is Mandarin Chinese.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he doesn't drive a
because-
Buick, does he?
No, he actually drives BMWs, not because he likes them, but because they're cheap.
Speaking of cheap cars that sit on the lots, number one on the list, Porsche Cayenne.
Wow. So how long was the one you bought for sale?
I did watch this one for about 2 weeks. Funny story about this Cayenne that I bought. He originally listed it at like 12, but he put his grandson, an older guy, put his grandson in charge of selling the car. He's like, if it doesn't sell, start dropping the price until it sells. Well, his grandson got a little aggressive with it. And, I went and saw the car and I was like, so are you firm on your price? He's like, yeah, 10,000. That's pretty strong. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I'm like, right here, it's listed for 8. What? Got on the phone and started yelling at his grandson while I was right there. It was pretty fun. But you can get original Cayennes for $4,000, like running and driving. Clean,
Okay, well, I
clean
mean-
title.
For how long?
But I mean, at that
Right.
point, you
I've
know,
already had
that's
to
a
replace a coil.
that's a high mileage base model, basically a Porsche Crest on a Touareg, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean, it is,
Well, the
it
first
is
one's
a Touareg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the first generation Touareg and
That's
the Cayenne are a lot.
That's an
alike.
04S.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Actually, a friend of mine just picked up a base model Cayenne. I think it was an 04 and 05. And he loves it.
that's good. I'm
I mean,
loving
he's
mine.
He's wanted a Cayenne for a while. He found one in his price range that was, you know, had the usage that he was okay with, and went after it.
Yeah.
I mean, even in their age, they are strong vehicles.
Honestly, I prefer the design, like, aesthetically, of the first generations, which were, like, 996 era. Like, still kind of taking the influence from that design. I prefer 996 era cars to 997 and 991.
Eat your food first, Gavin.
Oh God! please stop. No, why?
What have we done to deserve this?
Ugh. Anywho,
Well, that's about time to bring it into to the port, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we've definitely gone over. I started the timer late, so
Oh, you did?
we're over the hour mark.
Okay, great.
All right.
But anywho, so Evil Trent, thank
Yes.
you for being on this Tuesday episode. We're gonna dig into you a whole bunch on the Thursday episode.
Be gentle.
No promises.
the way
You
Gavin
might
Gavin
have to be
said
gentle
that-
to us.
The way he said that just really
Yeah.
caused some issues in my inner being right there.
Damn.
It's not, and it wasn't like a no, you're not going to do that. It was a be gentle.
I'm okay with it, but you gotta be nice.
Okay, well, he's okay with it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Evil Trent. So, you can find us on all kinds of places. We
Yes.
are at Cam Auto Mag on all the various social medias. CamAutoMag.com, Cam Auto Swag. That's where you can get all of our good stuff.
Yes, get the Mount Canmore shirt, please.
Yes, that's been a good one.
That's my baby.
And
My face is on it.
a beautiful baby it is.
Shout out Chaz Cornea.
Yeah, Chaz, another
Chaz
one of
Carina, yeah,
our
he's-
buddies. Yeah, he picked it up against the
Against the
recommendation
advice
of
his wife.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so wonderful woman she is, still loving Chaz, even though he wears a T-shirt with our face on it. Bold boot cotton.
See
See how it plays out. Yeah.
Anywho,
Also, go support our sponsor, Steady Broke. Follow them on @steady.broke. And also on all their social medias. Next week, Tommy's hitting the tours again. I said that wrong. Sorry, Tommy. He's going on tour again. There we go. I'm going to be better this next episode.
Words
I
is
promise.
tough.
It is. It has.
wow.
But yes, support the people that support us. Steady Broke. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams.
Yeah, steadybroke.com. Also, you can hit us up. You can slide into them DMs at all the various social medias. You know, you can slide into our DMs on Instagram. You can hit us on Facebook. We all get the Facebook messages.
We do.
Because we're all, you know, moderators of that Facebook page. If
And
you
at least I have access to the Instagram one.
yeah, exactly. I
don't
think
know what you guys
we
do.
all have access
Okay.
to it. I just choose to ignore it.
Okay,
That's a
cool.
responsibility I don't like.
I need to log in again.
Anywho, and then you can also hit us up, mailbag@camautomag.com. Last week, Pizza Dad even said that right.
I know. That was shocking. He got it out. He spit it out and did it right the first time ever.
See what happens when we're not there?
He didn't stroke.
Man.
Like, it was, yeah. I'm
Maybe it's-
impressed.
it's
I
us.
I should just quit doing this.
It's you and me,
It's
Gavin.
time to hang up the headphones, Gavin.
No, see, he's actually going to do it, though. God damn it. No, we need you.
Gavin,
We
I
need-
didn't want
we
to
need
hurt
you
your
to
feel
stop.
goods.
Anywho,
Babe, wait.
so
Hey, wait!
anywhere you guys get your podcasts, you can hit us up. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Anywhere you get your RSS feeds, your updates, that kind of stuff. We are there. Be sure to share us, like us, rate us. 5 stars, anything less. I mean, we're going to make fun of you and call you a hater.
You know what? I won't call you a hater, but at least to your face. I'll do it behind your back. Just so you know.
I thought you
we're
were
making
gonna,
it clear.
I thought you were going to pull out like the official dad thing and be like, I'm not going to call you a hater, but I am disappointed.
Yeah, I am a little disappointed.
Well, I'm going
honestly.
to come to your house and then make fun of your house.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's
On
that.
that note,
So, So that's it, guys. Hit us up, share us with all of your buddies, because chances are, if you like this, you know somebody that likes this too. So, Cam Auto Mag, all of our social medias, mailbag at camautomag.com, camautoswag.com, and check out our main sponsor, Steady Broke Clothing at steadybroke.com. So,
Take us out. No. You have been.
Oh wait, no, I've been B-Car. I'm Gavin.
I've been Good Trent.
I've been Daddy Rads.
And I've been Evil Trent.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now we do the fade
Now we
out
do the
thing.
fade out.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You
I'm
gotta
just
get
so done to get this thing.
This
over
was a
with
complete
already.
right. Train wreck.
train wreck.